I transformed this old shower glass enclosure into this. Welcome to my channel. I want to show you how I made this Waterfalls Paludarium. And since I already cut it, I joined it together and I also used wood glue and nails. You can also use the screws to make more durable and not to lift off. I used treated plywood and its thickness was 5/8 for the sides and back, and 3/4 for top and for the bottom. I just cut 1 inch between, and I only lived 1/8 of underneath to easily bend. Now, I will put a PVC board with thickness of 1/4 so as not to get wet. I would just paint a waterproofing, but I'm not sure it will last. Now I'm ready to put fiberglass on the bottom for durable and seal all the corners. I put 3 more coats and mixed it with color so I could easily see where else to go. And let it dry for an hour. I'm just going to use silicone on the top. It is not possible for the water to leak on the sides as the water flows down. Now it's time to install the foam insulation board. This foam insulation board has a thickness of 2 inch, and I will just stick it using adhesive spray, and it is easy to use. Its size is 36 inch deep, 48 wide, 22 sides, and 7 feet tall. I will make a hole for the fan so I can easily put it in when it's done. After I applied sealant on the side, I can now connect the pipe for the water. You can also use the heat gun to easily bend. These is where I'm gonna put up the fan for the airflow and grow lights. I can also use an exhaust fan. Then I'll drill the pipe so that water will drip out here. I used a small drill bit so it wouldn't drip too much. So this is where the water will flow down to water the other plants on the walls. And I will cover it again with foam so it won't be visible. I also used the scraps that I cut, glued them together, and then I will carve them to resemble a real stones. I'm gonna use this drill and wire brush. I was supposed to use a grinder, but it's too messy and dusty. Unlike this drill, which is easy to use and doesn't throw out what it grinds. I will heat this with a heat gun so it will sink a bit and the wire brush marks will disappear, and also to harden its surface. I will also put foam on top of it here to cover the lights inside and prevent them from glaring in front. Then I'm gonna carve it again to resemble the stone in the cave. And here the waters will also drip. At the end of the pipe, I'm going to make a small box where I'm going to place a mist maker, and for the water will flow down. Then I will carve this again to make it look like a shape of stone. And the same thing on the other side. Now, I will drill holes so I can place the plants here. You can also make the hole bigger, so you can put more soil in it. Here at the bottom, I just took the scraps, glued them on, and I will carve it again. It's up to you guys if where you want to place it, and what texture you want if you plan to make one too. I'll drill here again. Let's just make sure it's not too deep so the PVC board underneath doesn't get damaged. After this, I'm going to use again a heat gun to make it sink a bit and harden. And the lines that the drill passed through will also disappear. And then I'm going to paint this with black color. The paint I'm using here is water-based Rust-Oleum chalkboard black because this type of paint is durable. And it can be painted on foam so it won't melt. And it's also safe for plants. After I painted this twice, I'll mix color. I just combined white and black to make gray. Then I'll paint this over the raised parts of the carved foam so that it looks like a natural rocks. Then I'm just gonna follow this with green and brown color. The painting technique used here is dry brushing, focusing on the higher areas to highlight and bring out its texture and effects. After this, I coat it with water-based acrylic varnish. And this is the type I use because it's safe for plants and it doesn't have much of a smell. Since I've already installed the pipe, this is where I'm gonna put the water pump. The size of this pipe is 3/4 and at the top it is 1/2. I will also put 3 valves on this to control the flow of water to each one. Let's try it out to see if this water pump is of good quality. I just bought this at the Amazon store. After I tried the water pump and it was fine, I also planned of adding an LED light up here on top. I bought a clear hose and just inserted the LED light inside it so it wouldn't get wet because the LED lights I use are not waterproof. Now I'll put in the lights and the fan, as well as the outlets and the light switches, fan and water pump switch. Since I already added 2 more lights to make it brighter. So now it has 4 lights. So this is how it looks. It has its own switch as well as the outlet where I will plug in the fog maker. After I finish the plumbing and wiring, I can now cover the sides with 1/4 plywood. And of course I'll also put some molding here on top so that it looks a bit better. And this is where this power cord will be plugged in. After sanding it, I will paint it black so that its color matches the inside as well. I will now install the glass shower enclosure. We dismantled this shower enclosure last year because we replaced it with a new bathroom. When it was just piled up in the warehouse, I planned to turn it into a plant display. Then I secured it using screws. I also applied sealant so it won't leak when water splashes on the sides. I'll test the lights first to see how they look and how strong they are before I put in the plants. So when I had prepared the plants and soil, I could just put them in the holes I made earlier. I will just wrap the roots of this plant with wet soil before I put it into the holes. I apologize to all of you watching this video if I can't tell what kind of plants these are because I haven't planted any in a long time. My wife and my sister-in-law are the only ones who like plants, so they probably know what kind of plants these are. I also have mixed it with natural and organic fertilizer into this soil. I made a clip using coated steel wire and just used this pliers. To place this plant, just push it to lock and it won't easily come off. I can now put the fog maker inside this hole. This is how it works. Then just plug this into the outlet on top that also has its own switch. This water pump has a power of 800 GPH. That means 800 gallons per hour. Now I'll just put it in as well. I also painted it black so it wouldn't be easily seen. And it's just going to be connected to the switch. I also plan to add a tree snag so there will be a place for other plants. These tree snags, I just picked them up from the beach back then and set them aside in the shop because I also make epoxy tables and I use this kind of wood. Now I'll put the glass door first before I place the other plants so I won't have a hard time arranging them when I bring in the larger plants. This gravel is used in construction and I can also use it here because the plant I will put here below does not need soil and its roots will just spread out underneath it so that the water is always clean and free of mud so the water pump won't get damaged. I'll put some water on this first to rinse the gravel and I'll just drain it later using my extra water pump. I will add more branches so there will be something to hang and spread out the other plants. Now I can place this plant that clings to the branches. If you plan to make something like this, it's up to you what plants you want to put here. Maybe your work and the placement of the plants are better than mine, 'cause I don't really know much about planting. I will put larger stones on top of this. This stone I just took from our backyard. This is beautiful and it has natural moss that thrives on. Now I'm gonna put them as well. And since I have drained the water and replaced it, finally, I first assembled my bookshelf. And I'll just put it on both sides. If you enjoyed this video, thank you all for watching. If you also want to help me by subscribing, just click the subscribe button on my channel so you'll always be updated with my new videos. Thank you very much. Bye bye.